Hi everyone, my name's Travis, and today's class I call a chill class because it's not quite yin and it's not quite yang. You'll need some props, so if you've got a bolster or a couple of firm pillows, they'll work quite well. A yoga block is always handy, and a lovely thick blanket as well. So as I said, this is not yin, not yang, Goldilocks, somewhere in between. The weather here in Australia at the moment is very cool. So it's midwinter. I've got a beanie on, got a coat jumper on, and I've got my socks on. So the elements we're thinking of here for this practice are cool, slow, they're intentional. We might think of lunar. This is kind of a practice you might do in the evening. It's dark, it's covered, it's inside. So those are kind of the intentions and the spirituality and the kind of mythology around the practice. And let's get started. So lying down on our bolster to begin, or your lovely thick blankets. And I'm also going to use my block as a little pillow or support for my head. And then as you sit on the bolster at the very tip there, so you're quite far down your bolster, and your feet are nice and wide as your mat, slowly roll down the spine until your back arrives, and then the head, with a little maneuver of the block, finds a restful position. Once you feel comfortable in the torso, let the knees drop into center, and then drape the arms out wide so the palms face the ceiling. Perhaps in these first few moments, a couple of exhales out of your mouth. And really tune into that grounding energy. The apana vayu, the exhale breath, is associated with that current of energy of downward. It's also a letting go breath. And in that process, why don't we pretend to be turning off all of those devices and tablets that create the distractions and the instant awareness of new messages, of emails, etc. Just let that all become over there, right? Become present to here and now. It's a lovely reminder that now, the word, has no age. It doesn't have a past and it doesn't have a future. It just has now. And that is a reminder of every single breath being the complete and utter present moment. And with each of those magical, present, purposeful breaths, soothe into areas that might feel a little sticky, might feel a little resistant today. If you haven't already, perhaps you feel like closing down your eyes and diving deep into the layers of your skin, the contours of your muscles and the web of your nerves, and begin to tune into the rest and digest process, the response in our nervous system, the repair, restore. We've got the busyness, that's over there. Work, life, family, relationships. But we're here now. And you've got a few moments here just to enjoy the peacefulness of the breath. Let's say 5 more nourishing deep breaths at your own pace, without any particular style or pranayama to it. It's just natural. Could be shallow, it could be deep. It may well be out your mouth as well. I really don't mind. And for the final few moments, let's explore the lift of your heart in your lungs in your cavity of your chest. Let that beautiful powerhouse of love, compassion, energy, and excitement rise in your body with this wonderful uplifting practice. And then from that experience, it's wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, just create a little bit of movement, and then roll off your prop to whatever side that feels appropriate in a fetal position that's super nourishing and kind to yourself, and just take a moment and bathe yourself in that feeling. And then swing your way up to meet me in a seated position for our first posture. Bound angle pose is soles of feet touch out in front of you. Your heels are the distance from your groin, where the sensation in your outer thighs, hips, buttocks are the most sensational, whatever works for you. So further away, less, closer, more intense. You might want to sit on some props. You might want some elevation in your hips. Do all that. Remember, you are worth it. So do what you need to do to find that experience and the stillness. I'm going to use a block at my heels so that my forehead has something to rest on when I fold forward. You could also use some stacked fists, which could work well. You might even be able to fold all the way forward without any props. So you do that now, and let's just dive in deep to our first posture here. That's the really curious thing about these practices that slow us down, is they make us confront that mentality, that social norm, confronted in a way that's compassionate, kind, gentle. Providing you with some space to explore and honor your body. We're a little over halfway, so just start to settle into a shape that's sensational. There's curiosity. Perhaps here you start to explore what the sensation is. Where do you feel it? Is it a pulsation? A dull sensation? Perhaps it's a confrontation of softness compared to bitterness. Is it difficult? And stay with me in this shape. For another couple of moments. And slowly start to emerge by lifting your torso upright and place your block off to one side. Tilt onto your right hip so that you can swing the left leg to the side of your mat. That's an internal rotation of the left leg. So the inner thigh, the inner knee are on the mat, the inner ankle. And that right shin in front of you is externally rotated at the hip, so you can see the inner edge of the thigh. Place your bolster down the right side of your body, away from you. And as we prepare to create our deer here, rotate to the right and start to roll down your bolster. And just notice the skew-ifness created in our legs. One leg internally, one leg externally rotated. And that corkscrew of energy through our torso and our spine as we cleanse our body by squeezing out the impurities. The observation this time around in this posture could be sort of, where are you holding or gripping? Where can you find some tenderness, some gentleness in the way your body rests? Where do you illuminate areas of the body, and how do you illuminate areas of the body that you might be gathering that tension in? And you allow your nervous system the space to send the message, and send it through the breath. The yin and the yang practices, the yin being this slower, steadier practice, and the yang being the fiery vinyasa and movement-based practices. I think now about the element that's cool, that's nighttime, that's dark, and the moon. You want to be covered here. You want to be away. It might help to facilitate your eyes closing down and exploring the darker, deeper dimensions. The fascinating light show behind your eyelids, perhaps. And we'll take a few more moments here. Starting to lift yourself up. And then rotate back around to the left and just give yourself a little counter twist. And as you do that, there is your left thigh. Both hands hold the thigh and help lift the leg up and over. So the foot steps to the outer edge of your right thigh or quad muscle. So we've got this half Lord of the Fishes shape here. So the right heel is drawn close to our left buttock, but we're not sitting on it. You take your right arm out in front of you and you bend it around the left shin and you rotate to the left. Not the longest pose here, so we'll hold this for maybe 5 long, deep, steady breaths. And counter twist back around to the right. And perhaps here you might look for one of your props. It could be a block, or it could be that blanket which was folded up near you. I'm just going to slide the blanket behind me and sit on the blanket. And then I'm going to cross the left leg over the right in our shoelace. So it was already going over the right leg, but I've just made that a deeper cross. If that's not available to you, take a half variation by extending the right leg out and having the left leg, which was already crossed, over it anyway. So with our variations that we found, it could be a block underneath your buttocks as well here. This is a deep outer hip stuff. This can be quite sensational. In fact, I'm just going to sit with this for a few breaths. Just explore the shape. I'm curling my toes back towards the shins. That can sensationalize it as well. Sometimes when I think about how this manifests in my body, it's a feeling of release, stretching into those tighter tissues. We refer to the ancestral DNA and the karmic wheel of knowledge that can be in our hips. So would you like to add some arms in here? You can take your right arm out to the right with the thumb up and the palm facing forward. Sweep it behind your back and then take the left hand up behind you and catch the right elbow. And look, that might be enough. You just stay here, right? In fact, we can do that. But for those of you that are looking for something deeper, take your left hand out and then flip it so the thumb points down and the palm faces the wall behind you. Lower it down, bend the elbow, and sweep the hand up the spine towards the fingers of the right hand. Perhaps you meet. Maybe you don't, and you hold the clothes between them. Adding the arms can be a way to distract the mind from the sensations in the hips. I'm going to take my hands from behind my back in about 3 or 4 breaths. I'm going to fold forward over my knees, and then I'll come get you in a few moments. Beginning to walk the hands back and lift the torso upright and lean back So you can get the legs out, step the feet nice and wide in front of you, and do some windscreen wipers side to side. Draw the left heel in as though you're crossing your legs, but only halfway. So just your left leg is drawn in. And then hold the back of your right thigh with your interlaced fingers and point the toes forward and draw circles in the big toe. And then reverse that direction. Let's get into the knee joint with lift and lower, lift and lower. And then get down into that marvelous hip joint by stirring the pot around and then back in the other direction. I'm still sitting on my blanket, by the way, so I've still just elevated my hips a little bit. And now this time we'll bring the right leg in front of the left. So there's our cross legs. Lift up through the spine and twist to your right, so left hand on your right knee. And as you come back to center, take the left hand out beside your left hip. Walk it out a little bit. But take the right hand up and find your left ear. Don't tug or pull or strain. Just gently draw the head back to the right, lengthening along your left outer neck, shoulder. And we'll hold for 5 more breaths. And then as you come back, take a moment to let everything resettle with your hands on your knees. I'm still sitting on my blanket, so you could be too. Back to bound angle. Soles of feet come to touch out in front of you. You're a little warmer now. Your musculature has had a little chance to stretch. So I'm going to take my hands underneath my calves and palms down and forearms down and find some more space there. And just a little over halfway. Once more, a gentle, kind reminder to notice where you're gathering, why you're gathering, or how you're gathering. Perhaps it's in your jaw or your teeth, or maybe it's in your shoulders or your upper back. Starting to lift your torso, sitting into an upright position. I'm still sitting on my blankets, so I'm just going to shift off them. My bolster's still on my right, so I'm going to draw it over to the left. And I'll lean onto my left hip, swing the right leg out along my mat. Now, I didn't talk to you about necessarily any particular shape here, whether it's 90 degrees, but I generally find something that looks like 90 degrees. That works for me. See other people quite close in, other people even larger. So work with your body. Remember, we're rotating to the left, so you want your bolster on the left. It's going to take my block so I can elevate my forehead and I don't sound all muffled. We'll explore that lovely rinse through the torso. I use that analogy of like the dishcloth. After cleaning the pots or the sink or whatever it is that you might have been doing, there's that moment to rinse and squeeze out those impurities so that the sponge has space to refresh and restore itself. Recharge, so to speak. Repair. Recenter, return. So the almost universally accepted low level of stress that we all live with, many of us live with a lot more than that, creates an agitation in our nervous system, that on, go, warm, hot, yang response system, as opposed to the rest and digest, restore response system. And guess what? This is what the body does really, really well. Restore, repair, recharge. It's just that we don't often give it enough time and dedication. And you know what? I'm not pointing a finger. I'm not judging. Hell, we all do it, right? It's just a gentle, kind reminder that this is something that our body will nourish, absorb all of the wonderful goodness of it, and repay you the benefits of this practice. Let's say 10 more breaths on this side. Slowly as you emerge, you lift the chest. You walk along the bolster. And then as you rotate around to the right, there's our right leg. And let's lift it up. Help it. Step it all the way over to the left quad, top, and just sort of that area above the knee towards your hip. Making sure we're not sitting on our right heel, that's, I beg your pardon, our left heel, that's underneath our right buttock. And reaching your left hand forward and hinging around the shin in front of you as you rotate to the right. I spoke about the asymmetry, the skewiveness, the internal, the external rotations in those deer poses. And this posture here is rather similar in the sense of the knot like pretzel experience in our body. Turning around for our counter twist to the left, all the way around. Going back to center. So we've got shoelace now. For me, I'm just going to grab my blanket again. And I'm going to slide it up and sit on the blanket. And then just remember, it's single leg variation would be the left leg out, right leg crossed over. That's more accessible. But both knees bent, heels drawn towards the outer thighs and hips, toes curled towards their shins. How about we sit with this for a moment? It's sensational, isn't it? And then take your left hand out. If you'd like to add the arms, remember you can walk the hands forward and fold forward, but take the left hand out, thumb up. That goes up overhead and places between the shoulder blades with the elbow pointing up. Right hand reaches up and finds the elbow and draws it down the back. Draws the hand down the back. If you'd like to add both hands in, right hand out to the right, thumb down, palm facing the wall behind you, skim past and down, and then walk the hands up the back and see if you can meet them. One side is always profoundly different to the other. Maybe this side it's easier, maybe this side it's harder. I'll start to Release the hands now. I'm going to walk the hands forward and round the spine and pause for a few breaths. That's deep sensation, isn't it? Lean back, uncross the legs, step them out wide in front of you, and windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. Right heel in towards the left buttock for a half cross of the legs. Interlace behind the left thigh, point the left toes forward and draw circles with the big toe. And then up and down through the knee joint. And then around and round in the hip joint. Cross the leg in front of the right. Take the right hand to the left knee and the left hand behind you. Twist to the left. Come back to your center. Take your right hand to your right hip. Walk the hand out to the right. Sweep the left hand up and find the right ear. And draw it over to the left. Release that. And then let both legs come out wide. And think about Goldilocks here. Not too far apart, not too close together, just right. If you're like me and would like a few extra props out in front of you in a wide leg fold, you might create a little ramp and then lower yourself down upon it. Think about all of the fleshy tissues on the outer thighs and hips rolling off the bones located in that part of the body. Visualize them just rolling away and being soft, liquidy, cool, calm. And with that liquid, you think of it being hydrating, nourishing. Let's say about 5 or so slow, steady breaths. And then beginning to peel yourself up from your props, removing them to one side, maneuvering your way to lie down on your back. I'm going to place my blankets behind my knees and my block behind the back of my head. And so let's have a rebound and recharge here. Perhaps another 5 or so breaths. Return back to your body. Take the props out of the way. Hug your right knee in and give it a lovely squeeze and cuddle towards you. And then let the left hand draw the right knee over to the left. Maybe reach your right hand out to the right. Roll your head to the right. Maybe your blanket's there for support under your right knee. Come back to the center, give the knee another squeeze and cuddle in. And then slide the foot into your upper left thigh. So we're creating a reclined tree pose. So your left leg is the trunk of the leg. The left side of your body is the length of the trunk. Reach the arms overhead for the branches and elongate the body. Lift the arms up, reach them down for your right knee that you've started to draw in towards you. Give it another squeeze and let's take a half happy baby. Right hand reaches for the inside of the leg and all the way to the outside edge of the foot. Your left leg remains long, or you might like to bend it. Might feel nice to use the peace fingers of your left hand to gently press into the front of the left hip. Might even go all the way around to the left buttock. And slowly start to let that foot go, but this time I'm going to get you to place it on the mat so the knee points up to the ceiling. So that's your right knee is bent, right foot on the mat. Now you're going to lift your left leg up and cross the left ankle onto the right thigh, creating a figure four shape as you look back at your legs. Let all that just settle, okay? So let that left ankle gently rest on the right thigh. Back of the head, rest down onto the mat. Okay, so now we'll continue to move on. So we'll lift the head, we'll look at the legs, and we'll reach the hands for the right thigh or the right shin and draw that figure four shape back towards our body. Back towards the chest. Let all that go, but continue to maintain that figure four shape. So you've done nothing with your legs except just let them go. Because now all you need to do is let that whole figure four flop over to the right side of your mat. Just got to get the speaker box out from my hip. And lowering it over to the right. Now come back to center with that figure four shape still there. Nothing has changed. And we're going to go to a reclined shoelace. So we did shoelace earlier. So let that left leg slide over the right. And then lift up. So you draw the knees in towards you. maybe reach the hands out for pinky toe edges of the feet. Where are you gathering the tension in this posture? Okay, so there's our left knee in front of us. Interlace the hands around it. Slide the right leg down your mat away from you. Draw the left knee in. Just take a moment to give it a lovely big squeeze. And then we'll move into our twist. So let the right hand draw the knee over and across your body. Oh, the frustrations of technology. Microphone box is so big, when I twist it gets in the way, and you know the reality when you move it or fiddle with them, they always cause interference, so apologize if that's happened. I'm trying to do my best. Come back through your center. Left knee is still there. Give it another squeeze, and then slide the left foot into the upper right thigh. So we're going to create our tree pose again. Right leg's our trunk, our arms are our branches. Drawing the knee back in towards you, giving a little squeeze, and then there's the half happy baby here. Slowly let the left foot lower down to the mat. Lift the right leg up, cross the right ankle onto the left thigh. Figure 4, so let's just let that all settle in. Lift the head, and now let's draw the left knee towards us by holding the shin, the back of the thigh muscle. let go of our figure 4, lower the foot down, and then let everything fall over to the left. So the right foot wants to fall to the left, and maybe we twist our upper body to the right. Figure 4 shape returns to center, and then final time we find the shoelace. So let that right leg cross the left, draw the knees in, reach the hands down. Catch the feet, hold the knees, catch the big toes. Well done, that was a lot in our lower limbs. Uncross the legs, reach the hands and the toes up to the ceiling and flail out a little. Just let any of that pent up stillness just release with a bit of movement. Now, find props that are going to serve you for your Shavasana. I'm going to cover myself in my blanket because it's cold. And I'm going to prop my head up on my block. Take some movement, get yourself fidgeted and settled. Fidget and settled, I should say. Get all that movement out before finding the stillness. Slowly start to wiggle the fingers and wriggle the toes. Roll the wrists and roll the ankles. Inhale, arms overhead, lengthen everything up, big stretch. And then the exhale rolls you onto your side in a fetal position, rounding the spine, chin to chest, underside arm is a pillow. Rest here for a moment. Bathe yourself in gratitude, kindness, and thankfulness. And remind yourself you are a pure and beautiful version of absolute love, shining bright. Make your way up into your version of a comfortable seat. Place your hands at your heart space, draw your chin towards your chest. Close down your eyes. Thank yourself for making the effort, taking the time to do something wonderful for yourself, your body, and your spirit. Bring your thumbs to your third eye. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Greet this wonderful, incredible version of yourself with the Hindi word Namaste. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Look forward to seeing you again real soon. Thanks for subscribing. Share it with your friends. Like the video. That always helps. Bye for now.